Hey guys, and welcome back to some more Hidu. This week, I'm gonna do, if you noticed, because I'll probably mention it in the comments. I'll probably just do like a full week of Hidu, like all 5 days, instead of my secondary novel, just as a sort of redemption for last week's double fail in recording. That was really bad, so kind of my apology. Anyways, last episode we finished up the Watanagashi festival. Got some more tales with Takano. She's kind of alluding that the practices still go on today. And we got a little bit about some sort of canned flesh incident that we didn't really get to learn about it. Trying to stray towards cannibalism. I mean, I need to hear about the canned flesh incident before I start going into that, because I really don't think, or if cannibalism is happening, it doesn't really affect the. I don't believe it's affecting the cases, at least. It might be happening in the background. And I don't know, Mion seemed pissed. Like, she probably knew that we were with Shion and we missed Rika's thing. And then we had some more scrapbooks, though it wasn't as important. Though we do know that Uishi's team found a burnt body, but I didn't really understand if it's like an old corpse or if it's just been burnt. So we'll see, hopefully, as we head into this new chapter. I let out a great big yawn. It was like morning had arrived just as I got to sleep. As Mom set up breakfast, she gave me a pained smile.
どうしたのケイチ。ゆうべは何時に寝たの
12時には寝たつもりだけど、昨日はなんだか寝つきが悪くてさ。
お祭りではしゃぎすぎて興奮して眠れなかったんでしょ。
違うよ。
I crunched down hard on the pickled radish to hide my embarrassment. After all that happened yesterday, and a discussion about the sound Shion heard, that banging noise, like a child far away jumping up and down on a wooden floor. The story wouldn't get out of my head, so I had trouble sleeping. It was a long night, and I kept jumping at the slight sounds of faraway tree branches, which should have been either unhearable or too insignificant to notice. When I woke up to the morning sunlight and birds chirping, it made me feel pretty ashamed about it, but I felt far from refreshed this morning.
ケイチくん目が真っ赤だよ。どうしてだろう。
おはよう。どういうわけか寝つきが悪くてな。そんなわけで今日は寝不足だ。
昨日のお祭りは楽しかったね。レナも興奮がなかなか冷めなくて、なかなか寝れなかったんだよ。
Oh, we didn't sleep for different reasons. Slightly different. In Rena's case, her excitement seemed to still be wide awake.
こういうお祭りが何度もあればいいのにね。またみんなで大盛り上がり。
まあ、そうだな。
Rena talking about the festival yesterday made me remember everything I had nearly forgotten from last night. Ooh. The inside of the ritual storehouse had been so utterly different from the relaxed, bright, everyday life of Hinamizawa. All those stories that Takano-san told me too. The mysterious incidents that occurred on the day of the Watanagashi festival every year. The strange incidents where one person would die and one would disappear. The old stories of Hinamizawa flickering like a candle behind them. The numerous and horrifying traditions of Onidafuchi village. The villages with demon blood in them. The terrible cannibalistic feasts. The poor sacrifices kidnapped from human villages. Victims of the Anakakushi. To quell the rage of Oyashiro-sama, the ritual involving living sacrifices. There are also many, many others. There's so many stories that just remembering them put me in a foul mood. Most of them weren't fiction either, they were true. We didn't need to fear them just because they were real, though. Since it all happened so long ago. Such a very long time ago. Before I realized it, we had arrived at the place where we'd usually meet Mion. Probably because I was so lost in thought.
この時間になっても来ないときは先に行ってもいい約束になってるんだけど、どうする?
Mion being late wasn't too rare an occurrence, but today she was unusually late. A few of the ominous tales from the night before came back to life in my mind again. Who would die this year and who would disappear? It couldn't have been Mion? Oh, that's interesting. If Shion died, then Mion disappearing is an option, I guess. Or vice versa. I don't know why Mion would be killed. Huh. Didn't even occur to me.
どうするかな、ケイチ君。もう行かないと遅刻になっちゃうかも。
来るよ。学校休むって電話があったわけじゃないだろ。もう5分待ってみようぜ。な。
Rena looked at her watch and seemed a little worried, but then she nodded with a satisfied smile. If you had to wait 5 minutes, we'd have to run as fast as we could to school, or we'd be late. As soon as I thought that, we spotted Mion running towards us out of breath. Well, that throws out what I just said. Not that I really believed it.
待っててくれたわけ？先に行っちゃってもよかったのに。
Mion was breathing heavily and her face was all red. Her house was right down this road, wasn't it? It wasn't far enough away for her to end up like this, was it?
兄ちゃん、ひょっとして具合悪くない？
Huh? Now that she mentioned it, Rena pushed Mion's veins away and put her hand to her forehead.
レナの手、冷たいな。
兄ちゃん、ちょっとだけど熱あるよ。
そんな大したことない。半日もすればケロッと治っちゃうって。
本当に大丈夫かよ。あんまり無理するなよ。
あれ？ケイちゃん、気遣ってくれるの？嬉しいな。
That answer wasn't like Mion at all. She must have had it pretty bad.
無理しない方がいいと思うな。先生にはお休みだって伝えとくよ。
大丈夫大丈夫。風邪薬も飲んだし、すぐに効いてくると思うから。
Mion forced an energetic expression onto her face and flexed her biceps at us.
じゃあ行こうか。くれぐれも無理するなよ。って言いながら時間。
走らないと間に合わない。
スリリングな朝になっちゃったね。鈍った体にはちょうどいいカツかもね。走ろう。
Hey, wait, you're sick. Don't go overboard. Mion began to run vigorously anyway.
兄ちゃんだって最上級生だろ。自分の体のことは自分で一番よくわかってるよ。
I decided to leave it at that and assumed she was
よ
fine.
し、俺たちも行こうぜ。
We began to run after Mion. The stroll looked the same as always. The hours passed listlessly, and my lack of sleep took its toll. If there was a sport where people competed by sleeping, I'd be world champion right now. The trick to overcoming this sort of dangerous situation was to hold your pencil upside down. Why, you asked? So you don't draw strange patterns all over your notes while half asleep. If you were holding your pencil upside down, that wouldn't happen, would it? Bump, bump, bump. Bump, bump, bump. Something that felt like an eraser hit me in the head 6 times.
あいてててて何しやがるサトコ
Of course.
私は何もしてないでござい
Never
ますわ
mind. I'm sorry I blamed you too,
お
Satoko.
前以外にこんないたずら誰がするんだよあ消しゴムじゃなくてチョークか
Never mind. Hi, Chi. We've seen a lot more of her this chapter too. That's kind of interesting. Behind me, like a female outlaw might hold razors, was the teacher's shadow holding 3 pieces of chalk in each hand. Rumble, rumble, rumble.
前原くんお顔を洗ってらっしゃい。
はい喜んで
That alone was enough to wake me up, but I flew out into the hallway as if shoved out by the pressure exuded by the teacher's sheer power. I was going to wash my face anyways, then I would rather use the sinks out front rather than the ones in the dark restroom. Thinking that, I left the hallway and went to the entrance. Where we meet Uishi. This is rare. This is the time where we met Uishi, but he specifically called us out. The sunlight was strong, so strong you wouldn't think it was June. I turned the faucet with a lifeless bubbling noise. Lukewarm water came pouring out. If I let it run for a few moments, would it get cold? I looked at it absent-mindedly for a little while.
やっぱケイちゃんはこっちの流しを選んだか。
Maybe you won't get a Keiichi plus Uishi team up. If you didn't even call it a real team up. That would actually be interesting too. Well, I did think that maybe it would be a Keiichi Shion team up to solve mysteries. Or solve the murders. Or solve the murder.
表の方が気分いいもんね。
あ見ようか授業サボるなよな
I stuck my hands into the water to find it had gotten so cold that it seemed strange it had ever been warm. I scooped it up and splashed it against my face. Once I was done, I moved out of the way and Mion did the same.
ミオン具合の方はいいのかよ眠いのは寝不足じゃなくて薬の副作用なんだろ
実は内緒なんだけど、昨日はお祭りの後で親族の宴会に巻き込まれちゃってさ。
Yo. That better not be a torture slash murder party. I don't know why that popped in my head
実は
first.
エンドレスに突入しちゃって。
I mean, mainly just because you're a Sonozaki, not because you're you, Mion. A bit. Oh, a bit of alcohol. Little bit of a hangover. She made a gesture like she was tilting a cup into her mouth, which means you didn't have a cold or anything.
つまり本当に寝不足なのかよ
I've actually never been hungover, but I've been super drunk before. I think it's because when I go to sleep, I wake up and then throw it up, after a couple hours. So I'm lucky I've never really experienced a hangover.
徹夜明けならそうと言え紛らわしい
勘弁してよ。
I mean, I guess Shion wouldn't die. Why would she die if she's part of the big family, right? I'm assuming the Sonozakis have to be one of the big 3 ancient families, because we literally don't know any other relevant family except for the Furuds. Maybe the Hojos, but us betrayers. Maybe that's why they wanted to do the dam project, because they felt guilty about their past. I don't know, just throwing stones out there, since those are the only families, unless Keiichi's family was secretly in here. But I don't think so, right?
人
Actually,
が悪いのは本当なんだからさ。
actually, maybe they did live here in the past, because this is such a random village to choose, right? Why would his parents just choose this one out of everything? So out of the way. I know he wanted to get out of the way, but this is super out of the way, right? I suppose she'd be feeling lousy either way. Still, you treat colds and hangovers in completely different
心
ways.
配して損したぞ たくミオンらしいというかなんというか。
Yo, watch your words, bro. Thought you learned this, Keiichi. Mion scratched her head, a little embarrassed. She didn't seem to be feeling well, but now that I knew it was a hangover, I didn't need to worry too much. It would go with time after all.
あー、でも頭がガンガンするのは本当。
I hate that. It would go away with time after all. It seems like a... Never mind. Never mind.
だからさ、さっき先生に早退していいって言われちゃった。
あ、ずるいやつ。じゃあミオンはもうこれで帰りなのか？
Now that I looked again, Mion had her bag with her. She must have been on her way home.
申し訳ないけどね。今日は家でおとなしく寝させてもらうわ。部活できなくて申し訳ないね。今日はケイちゃんがリーダーってことでやってくれない？
Take it. We haven't really... I mean, we had a club activity, I guess, at the festival.
多分無理だと思うぜ。俺たち部活は全員揃った時しかやらないっていう暗黙の了解があるだろう。ミオンがバイトに行ってる時はいつもそのままお開きだったんだぜ。
Mion laughed wildly, saying we didn't need to worry about her. No matter how much fun we have, though, I think that feeling guilty about friends who can't share in it is a sign of a really fantastic friendship. In that sense, the club Mion has created is a wonderful thing. As I thought about it, the moisture on my washed face dried up. I suppose we were talking too much. If I didn't get back to the classroom soon, I could get in trouble.
じゃあな、俺は教室に戻るぜ。帰りは気をつけろよ。フラフラして速攻や用水路に落ちるなよ。
I left it at that, turned around, and started heading back to the classroom.
そうそう、ケイちゃん。
Why? Is she gonna say... I feel like she's about to do a zinger, but I might be wrong. Mion stopped me and I turned my head to listen.
なんだ？
It's gonna be something.
変なこと聞くけど、深く考えないで答えてね。
Oh my god, it's a
それは
zinger.
内容によりけりだな。
What are you gonna say, Mion? Music stop. Yep.
昨日の綿流しの晩さ、富武さんと高野さんに会わなかった？
Oof. Is this investigating because they died, or is this investigating because they got away and they were planning on killing them? I think it's the latter, honestly, unless we see some real evidence. That would make it really interesting. Because I did mention before that because Keiichi and Shion were also in the shed, they took a lot more time in the shed than they were before. So maybe when the others planned to assault them, the times kind of got messed up because they spent more time in the shed than in Anakatsushi. I suddenly tensed up.
富武さんと高野さんはわかるよね。ほらケイちゃん、お祭りの前日準備の時、シオンと一緒に4人でお話ししてたでしょ。
If I could, I wanted to forget about sneaking into the storehouse that night as soon as possible. So hearing the names of the people I was with at the time really got to me. Besides that though, why was Mion asking me a question like that? I ended up staring at her, unable to answer immediately. Was she asking to see if I had seen them or not? Or was she asking the question knowing that I had? I couldn't tell.
さあ、どうかな。
I like that maybe.
あったような、合わなかったような。
Nice. That's a good deflection. My vague response was clearly not to Mion's liking. Never mind. What was the answer she was expecting from me? There's no way for me to know.
そう。じゃあもう一つ質問ね。同じく夕べ、シオンに会わなかった？
Just appreciating the sound effects. Just say yes, Keiichi. Cat's out of the bag. My heart leapt into my throat again. The tiny needles buried underneath Mihon's words pricked into me.
それ、昨日も聞いたよな。俺、会ったかどうかわからないって答えたと思ったぜ。
そうだっけ？ また改めて聞いたら違う答えが返ってくるかなって思ってさ。
Eyes? Eyes? No. Well, we knew stuff would go bad after Watanagashi, but this is a little fast, right? I suddenly noticed something in Mion's eyes, something indescribable. Tomotaki-san and Takano-san, Shion too, she was asking me about them. There were no doubt about it. Last night the four of us snuck into the ritual storehouse. She knew everything. So what? There's not really a curse anyways. Well, to be fair, you kind of are just breaking into private property. And it is kind of sacred items to them, so if I was a villager following tradition, I'd be mad anyways, even if I wasn't a psycho killer path. Psycho killer path. Yes, that's how you describe them. That's right. Even Shion and Takano-san said yesterday during the festival there was no curse. And that rather than a curse, it was the doing of the villagers. My blood curdled. Mion was, almost without a doubt, aware that we snuck into the storehouse? Yeah, that's probably worse. It was nothing strange. I screwed up bad flipping on the light switch last night. Yo. True. If Mion had been searching for me, and it was simple to imagine that she had seen that momentary light and come to find out what was going on. Dude, just admit it. What if he just admits it?
本当に会ってないんだね。
If he admits it, would it really be bad? Maybe it would be bad. Maybe he wouldn't die though. I'm not sure.
どうして会ったかどうかをそんなに気にするんだよ。
I feel like this is just making it worse.
大したことじゃないの。富武さんと高野さんとシオンとケイちゃんをね、悪く言ってる人たちがいるの。
What? The whole village knows already?
何が悪いんだかはよく聞いてないんだけどね。
Oh shit, it's over, dude. How do they know? What if they have cameras in that place? That'd be nifty. You know, make it look really ancient but hide some cameras. People are talking about them? Maybe at the party. The Sonozaki party. Oh, we're screwed. Teiji, best course of action is actually just to give up and rat them out, and maybe you'll be saved. But actually no, like Shion's not gonna be in trouble, right? I feel like it's like, yeah, I feel like Shion's just being a bait, but Tomotaki and Tateno are probably gonna die if they're not dead already, which they probably are dead. I mean, Teichi probably gonna die at the end of this too, but I don't know. I'm trying to save you, bro. Unpleasant sweat dripped down my arms, and the sound of it hanging from my fingertips was so annoyingly loud. Yeah, but multiple people already know about that. That's not good.
私、ケイちゃんが悪いことをするなんて信じてないから。でも、ちょっとだけ聞いてみたかったから聞いてみたの。不愉快な思いをさせてごめんね。
I found myself unable to reply. My reaction must have made it obvious what the truth was, and yet I couldn't explain myself.
ケイちゃんは富武さんとも高野さんとも、そしてシオンとも一緒じゃなかった。そうだよね。
Yikes.
ああ。
It's over, dude. We're gonna die. I finally rumbled out an answer. Between raging breaths, Mion's expression softened a little.
よかった。私言っとくね。
Oh, Mion, cover
ケイ
first.
ちゃんは何にも悪いことには加わってないって。みんなにちゃんと言っておくからね。
Oh, maybe this will work out. Yeah, please do. Tell them I wasn't doing anything bad. To everyone, make sure. Everyone. Everyone? Who is everyone?
じゃあね。
The group, bro. The killing group.
明日は元気になってるから。バイバイ。
That's so ominous. Maybe Mion can save us though. Wait, Mion. What do you mean by everyone? Just then, a freezing cold hand touched the back of my neck. It's just a teacher. Yeah.
ほら、
can't get
遅
me
い
with
です
that.
よ前原くん。顔を洗うだけなのに時間がかかりすぎです。
It was the teacher. I was taking so long she came out to get
あ
me.
すみません。ついミオンとおしゃべりを。
I turned around, but Mian had crossed through the schoolyard without me realizing it and was now standing at the gate.
さあお勉強に戻りますよ。早く早く。
The teacher was being insistent. We returned to the entrance. I looked back one more time and Mian was nowhere in sight. School's out.
ケイチ、今日はずっと元気がないのです。
Aw, Rita's worried.
昨日大はしゃぎしすぎたからに違いありませんわ。
And Satato's not.
迷子になって目を真っ赤にさせて半泣きしてたやつに言われたくねえ。
Oh yeah, she got lost too. No bully.
ゆうべのさとこちゃん、可愛かったよ。はう。
I kind of want to see that too. My friends did their best to try and cheer me up, but it didn't lighten my mood. Was it far worse than I thought? Had I really done something that terrible last night? I mean, if you didn't do it, you probably wouldn't be targeted to being killed like you are unless Mion does change their minds. These thoughts remain with me for the rest of the day.
じゃあね、ケイチくん。また明日ね。
By the time I realized it, I was in front of my own house.
みーちゃんも風邪だったみたいだけど、ひょっとしてケイチくんもなのかな。
え、大丈夫だよ。こう見えても風邪で休んだことはないんだぜ。
What a trooper.
でもみーちゃんもケイチくんも今日は具合が悪そうだし。
気にしてくれてありがとな。大丈夫。バカは風邪ひかないんだぜ。
Rena smiled, then waved to me and left. Whew. With my shoulders bopping up and down from breathing heavily, I entered the house. As soon as I got back in, Mom called out to me.
何？
ケイチ、悪いんだけど図書館に行って本を返してきてくれない？
めんどくさいな。
お父さんもお母さんも今ね、ちょっと電話待ちをしているところで家を開けられないの。返却期限も今日までだし、お願いできない？
Probably gonna bump into Shion. Sheesh. Did it have to do with Dad's job? No point in arguing if they bring that up.
仕方ないな。でも俺、図書館がどこにあるか知らないよ。
あら、知らないの？沖宮の駅前をちょっと進んで。
Just then the phone rang. My parents' face immediately turned grim. Mom snatched up the receiver.
もしもし、前原です。はい？はい、おりますけど。
Wrong one. Then she thrust the receiver at my
ケイチに
face.
電話よ。
Kind of
早
mad
めに終わ
about
らせ
that.
てね。
I tried to ask who it was from, but asking the person on the phone directly would be faster.
もしもし。
園崎の妹の方です。
Hi, Shion. Maybe we shouldn't be interacting with Shion after learning that quote unquote everyone thought they did something bad.
こんにちは。今はお時間大丈夫ですか？
It was Shion. The older sister had a hangover today, but the younger one made no reference to it.
シオンか。ミオンと同じで、今日は徹夜明けで寝込んでるんじゃないかと思ったぜ。
え？それじゃあおね、今日はずる休みですか？おねらしい。
She laughed warmly, but Mom glared at me, silently telling me to finish up.
ごめんな。ちょっと親が電話待ちをしてるんで、そんなに長話はできないんだ。何の用だ？
お話ししたいことがあったんですけど、長電話が無理じゃ仕方ないですね。
She sounded a little disappointed. What would Shion want to talk to me about? Now I was
じゃ
interested.
あさ、会って話をしないか。ついでに図書館にも案内してもらえるとありがたい。
書館って駅前の私立図書館ですか？別にいいですよ。バイトのついでってことで。
じゃあいつもミオンと待ち合わせてる場所わかるか？その崎家の小道に分かれる分岐の。
あ、ケイちゃん言ってませんでしたっけ？私本家じゃなくて沖宮の家に住んでるんですよ。
I thought Shion lived in the main house and Mion lived with her grandparents. Huh.
だから待ち合わせ場所は沖宮駅の
Okay, that
改札前なんかにし
changes
てくれた方が
things. Though
嬉しいんです。
I swear it's a different way around. I guess that makes sense why Mion would be at a Sonozaki party. But if Shion doesn't live with the main house, then that kind of lowers my suspicions of her being that bad. Main house. Living in Okinomiya. Now that you mentioned it, it always seemed that the Sonozaki sisters weren't communicating. Did they live in different houses? Yes, Keiichi. I swear we went over this. Now that she mentioned it, Rena said she never met the younger sisters, despite going over to play sometimes. I'm gonna have to look that back up again, because I swear it was Shion in the main house and Mion living with her grandparents. It's so weird. Also, now that she mentioned it, Rena said she never met the younger sister despite going over to play sometimes.
じゃあ駅に集合な。すぐに行くよ。じゃあ。
I don't know where I would look over at. I don't really feel like going through all my old videos just to find that. I set the receiver down and Mom immediately thrusts a large pile of library books in my face. 6 volumes of a long-form mystery novels. Mom had her own hobbies.
ケイチ、よろしくね。お夕飯までには帰るのよ。
じゃあ行ってくれよ。
I suppose I changed my clothes and grabbed my bike key. I climbed the stairs to my bedroom. She and I had been waiting for me already, so meeting up was a smooth process.
ミオンと違ってシオンは待ち合わせ時間を守るな。しみじみ。
おねを標準にされるといろいろと困ります。
Shion seemed a little unsteady too. Also, if Shion isn't in the main house, why does she have her own personal driver? Dude, this is bothering me, because I swear it's opposites. I don't know. Shion seemed a little unsteady too. She was drinking with me on last night, wasn't
お
she?
前も夕べは寝てないんだろ。隠しても無駄だぞ。で、学校を早退したに違いない。
残念でした。私はそもそも今日はずる休みしてますので。私、お姉より容量いいですか
So
ら。
they were together. Okay. Hey, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter.
じゃあ、先に用事を片付けます？時間もそんなにないですから。図書館へ行くんですよね。
ああ、頼むよ。お袋の借りてる本の返却期限が。図書館は遠いのか？
すぐ近くですよ。
As she said that, we spotted the signboard for the library almost immediately. If it was this easy to find, then I guess I didn't need Shion to show me where it was after all. We rode around the bend, and the building was right there. Oh, what if, because Sonozaki's a big family with, a lot of political influence. Maybe, Mion's living in, the main family, based in Hinamizawa, and Shion's, living with the more influential people, abroad, right? Or in different provinces in Japan. Those people that expanded more, while the more traditional side was in Hinamizawa. Maybe that's it. Anyways, Shishibone Public Library. We lived in the country, so I hadn't expected too much, but it was pretty big. The first floor was actually a government office, so the library was only on the second floor, but it still looked large enough to fit a decent collection of books. Ooh. Dude, I love this song. If anyone knows this song, can you, hook me up with it? Because again, I have trouble finding music in this. But this is like my favorite song, I think. Out of the new tracks. Next volume, I promise. I'll patch in the old songs just to try it out. We passed through the automatic doors and were greeted by the cool breeze of an air curtain. The cicadas had been loud outside, but it was quiet inside the library. The air conditioning inside was keeping the temperature at an ideal level for the books, which had that mild, dewy smell unique to old paper.
どこの図書館も似たようなもんだな。
If there's one difference, it was that people studying for tests weren't taking up all the seats. I was one of those people, but now that seemed like a distant memory.
すみません、返却に来ました。
The librarian went through the process of checking them in and then returned my mom's library card. Shion was going around the bookshelves with a deeply interested look on her face, like she wasn't the type who went to libraries very
悪い
often.
な、お待たせ。終わったよ。
図書館って涼しくていいところですね。私、将来は図書館で働きたいです。
Wow.
地味というか堅実というか、姉と比べると随分とささやかな希望だな。
Mion would definitely want to be a hardworking employee for an international trading company or some other crazy job that involved her running all around the world. I don't know about that, but compared to that, what Shion said was pretty heartwarming. I mean, I think being a librarian is pretty hard. Like, don't you have to take like specific university courses to get into that? From what I heard. Anyways.
まあ、互いの持ち味を大切にしたいですよね。私たち分身じゃなくてシオンとミオンというちゃんとした個人なんですから。
双子は双子なりにいろいろと考えてるんだな。でも楽しそうだよな。俺には兄弟はいないから、うちには俺以外は親しかいない。窮屈なもんだよ。
私だってそうです。お姉とは一緒に住んでるわけじゃないですか
I
ら。
was gonna say, it's not like they live together. Oh, right. She said something like that, didn't she? Why, though? Sisters living apart is unusual. Hey, isn't this the scene they used in the police station? I think they used this as some of the hints, especially in Anakatushi, like at the very last hint when those two guys were playing a what are they playing, like Mahjong or something, or some card game? This looks familiar. I don't know. Wait, oops, did I skip something? We were getting tired of talking while we were walking. We ended up going to the lounge area, which was vacant, and continuing the conversation.
え、お姉は本家に、私は沖宮の家に住んでるんです。
Swear they said it was different though.
本家ってなんだ？
Oh, but what if what if that was like Mion dressing up as Shion when she said that she lived in the main house while her sister lived apart? Oh, what if it's not Shion, like kind of twisting it? That'd be interesting. That would confirm another Mion being Shion part, but I'd have to look into that. Okay, now I definitely want to look into that
随
sometime.
分と立派な響きがあるけどな。
They are very influential,
本
politically
家は本
powerful.
家です。園崎家の本家。お姉は跡取りだからバッチャと一緒に住んで、いろいろと当主としての修行をさせられて
I
るみ
mean,
た
I
いで
guess
す。
she is the older sister. That means she's definitely she has to be involved. I mean, I always thought Mion was involved, but again, not like one of the big bosses. But yeah, that's probably why she loves the village so much. If the Sonozakis kind of run the village, which is what I think, anyways. Mion, the head of the family, it's kind of fit her personality, but kind of didn't too.
ケイちゃんは引っ越してきたばかりでしたよね。自分で言うのもなんですけど、園崎家ってここいらじゃ結構名士なんですよ。
本当かよ。
The word personage didn't really match with the extremely sociable air that Mion and Shion gave off. From what Shion explained, the Sonozaki family goes way back to the beginnings of Hinamizawa, one of the big three families. After the war, they had a bunch of successful ventures and extended their influence to a wide area.
園崎家はですね、親族全体で助け合う土壌があるんです。今の当主のバッチャが築き上げたんですけどね。
So are they like skipping the... I mean, no, they don't have to skip. I'm like, I mean, either they're skipping the mother or father of Mion Sashion, or Mion's like the future head after like whatever parent inherits it. The entire family would provide backup to help one relative with a business venture. They're like a huge living company. This let them avoid tax-related problems and... Sorry. Choking on myself. This let them avoid tax-related problems and help relatives. Ventures succeed one after another using large amounts of money.
沖宮の街を歩くことがあったら、看板とかを意識してみてください。園崎の親族が経営しているお店ってとても多いんですよ。
言われてみれば、例のおもちゃ屋も親類の人が経営してるみたいだったな。そういえば、エンジェルモートも親類の人が経営してるんじゃないのか?
Well, they did call them uncles. Even what few shops I was familiar with were involved with the Sonozaki family. It was definitely surprising.
特に金融不動産関係は強いですね。あと商工会議所の役員も何割かは園崎姓か沖宮一帯の評伝に市議会議員と県議会議員にも園崎がいますし。
ちょっと待て。なんだかすごい話になってきたぞ。
Her relatives operate shops in downtown Okinomiya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate. On top of that, a lot of those in the Chamber of Commerce and Industries. The Chamber of Commerce and Industry are relatives, and there are even people elected to local offices.
ひょっとして園崎家ってこの辺り一帯じゃすごいんじゃ。
ねえ。
Hi, Uishi.
すごいんです。
A wild Uishi appears. All of a sudden, a cigarette-smoking overweight old man interrupted our conversation. Wait, I know this guy.
どうも。
Maybe we're gonna get an Uishi, Teichi, and Shion relationship to solving a murder. Solving the mystery of the village.
こんにちは。今日はデートですかな？羨ましいですね。
そうだと思ったら邪魔しないでほしかったですね。大石さん。
How is it? He was Uishi-san, a police officer. I thought it was this person who came to my rescue when I got involved with those delinquents before. Now that I thought about it, Mion didn't seem to like him very much.
いえいえ、すみません。知ってる声が聞こえてきたのでついつい。
Uishi-san laughed coarsely, not showing any signs of giving up. As Shion watched him do so, I didn't feel the same sense of malice from her as I had from Mion.
前原さんでしたよね。あなたもタフな人ですね。園崎姉妹を二股かけるなんて。
Kinda.
いや、そんな二股だなんて。
I turned around to look at Shion and pleaded for help, but she grinned and maintained her silence. Her gaze wandered. She looked at the clock.
あ、ごめんなさい、ケイちゃん。
Never mind, just we're gonna get alone time with Uishi.
私もうバイトの時間なんです。
そうなのか?
Wait, didn't Shion have something to talk about? Now this weird man is here, though.
また今度。 バイトが終わったら電話します。夜なら電話大丈夫ですよね。
ああ、大丈夫だと思う。
じゃあ今夜電話しますので、その時に。じゃあ。
Bye. Uishi, don't stop us from leaving and bringing us into this. Oops, I skipped it. Shion left so fast she was practically running. Uishi-san was waving at her with a grin. I felt like I'd been left here as bait so she could get away. Maybe she was lying about having to go to work.
園崎のご令嬢とこれだけ親しくできるなんて、前原さんもなかなかの大物ですね。私も口の利き方を改めた方がいいかもしれません。
Uishi-san put a coin into the vending machine as he said something a bit appalling.
アイスティーでいいですか？ミルクは入れます？
え、
Milk and iced
い
tea.
え、
じゃあ入れますよ。はいどうぞ。
He handed me a cup filled to the brim with ice as I looked on absent-mindedly. I don't think I'm obligated to have a guy like this buy me a drink, but he did get it for me, so I'll thank him. Was Uishi-san just killing time? We didn't know each other well, but he still engaged me in conversation about all sorts of dumb things. When I thought back to how I talked with Shion, this seemed like a total disaster.
前原さんは園崎さんのことをどれくらいご存知で？
And that's the cue to stop the episode. I feel like we're gonna get a long discussion with Uishi, so I'm gonna save that for next episode. But this episode was interesting. I mean, we didn't get too much, but that moment with Mion during Ren rinsing the face was pretty neat. And yeah, I'm gonna have to at least look back to the statement about Shion living in the main house, because that's confusing me a bit. But yeah, this was good. Like I said, we'll be uploading episodes all week today, so you'll have seen this, the next episode right away, or not right away, but right the next day. If you're if oh no, I bumped into the mic. I'm sorry if that made a loud noise. If you're watching it on the release date. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Hopefully, bye.